Okay, so just to clarify where we're at in the story, Peter returned from this trip from the river, immediately said, hey, I'm in a reflective headspace. Don't take it personally if I don't respond to your text. I have been unable to sleep. Coming up to around 5 days when I do hear from him, 48 hours after he returns, when he says, hey, thanks for giving me my space. I'm ready to talk to you. And then I pulled the rug out from under him by replying, hey, that's great. Glad you took your time. I'm going to take some time of my own. And then, like I said, he replied with one word, all right. So that's Monday, June 10th, 2024. And in my head, I'm thinking, wow, you tried to schedule our breakup before your work shift. And I don't know if I was more angry that he tried to do that or that he felt I was stupid enough to fall for that. I don't know what I was more angry about. So I replied in that manner again. One, to kind of pull the rug out from under him because it's like, you really think I'm gonna be stupid enough to show up to my dumping? And then two, to kind of give me some time to think. And so I told him, I said, let's meet in a week or two. But the reality of that was that there's no way I could postpone this long. Like, I had to resolve this. And so in my head, I'm thinking, all right, maybe I will try to catch him on his walk home from work because I know that bar he likes to hang out at. Bearing in mind that he has not talked to me since he has returned from this trip, from his river trip, Miley's birthday trip at the river. I do have to also add at this point, I don't know if they're watching, it doesn't really matter, but I do owe his friends an apology because I had assumed up until this point that they played a role in convincing him to break up with me, or they played a role in planning it, or that they talked about it. And I do have it on pretty good notice from several different people that were at that river. I have it on pretty good, information that they tried to talk him out of breaking up with me, and that he had made up his mind and that he was going to do what he was going to do. So let me just put that out there. So this brings us to Monday afternoon, bearing in mind that at this point, I still have not slept. It's been 5 days at this point that I have not slept. I'm in anguish. I think that's another reason why I don't remember all of this that clearly. In my head, I'm really just like, why is he putting this off? Like, this is like, and then when I realized that he tried to like schedule it, I'm just like, so the cruelty is the point, like anyway, that's what you came up with after, postponing, putting me off, blowing me off for 2 days or 48 hours. So I called him Monday afternoon. I want to say it was 4:30. He was still at work. And he tried to play it off like, oh, I wanted, like, how are you? Or like, oh, we need to do this later in person. And I'm thinking, like, why? Like, you're a real piece of work. You're a real piece of work. And so in my head, and so I told him, I said, can I meet you at such and such place after your work? He's like, maybe. I said, are you going there? He's like, maybe. And so nothing was resolved in that conversation. So 4:30, right? I hang up the phone. I go to lay down because, again, I have not slept up until this point, and I wasn't able to sleep, but I was able to rest my eyes a little bit. And that's when I pulled my phone out to text Peter. So this brings us to 6:37, Monday, June 10th. I pull out my phone to text Peter, and I said, hey, Peter, I said, we don't have to meet up in person for you to break up with me. And almost immediately after sending that text, I get a FaceTime call.